Joining us now in the studio is the People's Democratic Party Caretaker Committee Chairman Emmanuel Ogidi, and in Port Harcourt, Rivers State, is the South-South Zonal Secretary of the PDP, George Turner. Thank you, gentlemen, for joining us on the news tonight. I'd like to begin with you, Mr. Emmanuel Ogidi. The NWC, as we know, is the party's highest advisory organ, but does it have the power to schedule congresses for the party? Where did it derive that backing from?
Good evening, yes. It's not something that, how would I put it? It's a known fact. Even those who went to Calabar understood it. The NWC has been empowered by the Constitution to conduct all elections, from the ward to the convention. It is the NWC that will send out the letters, and then the various committees to conduct the elections. It is also the NWC that will produce the forms for screening, the result sheets, and then the ballot papers. So when I hear some party men say today that it's the job of the Zonal Congress to conduct their own election, how can you conduct your own election? It's not possible. Somebody has to conduct your election. And then when you say we inform INEC, it's just a procedure. They're just to inform them. They have nothing to do with election. You just come to witness it. That's why I said what happened in Calabar was just a gathering. And that's what happened today. That's also why the chairman, the acting chairman today, was very emphatic. So if anybody was doubting it, that should put it to rest today.
Okay, let me bring in George Turner, the Zonal Secretary, PDP South-South. So now that you have this situation, you know, the party headquarters has disowned you, what's your next line of action?
Good evening, and thank you for having me. Let me also greet my uncle, Emmanuel Ogidi. First of all, I will say that it is not unusual for various arms of or organs in an organization like the PDP to have conflicts or to disagree. The Constitution is a ground norm, and it defines how everybody, you know, what role everybody is expected to play. Even Nigeria as a federation and the federating states can disagree, and the court is there to resolve. Right now, as it is, there is a conflict between the zone and the national on who does what with respect to the conduct of election of officers into the zonal working committee. These matters are now before a court of competent jurisdiction to determine. So I won't go into much details as to what happened and what not happened, but I know for sure that we had a congress in Calabar following the laid down rules and regulations as provided for in our constitution, and that congress is valid. Up till this day, there has been no challenge of that congress or its outcome. There is none, apart from some people saying, or the national saying that they didn't conduct. They have no right under our constitutions to conduct the election. Chief Emmanuel Ogidi is saying, how can you conduct election for yourself? Let me ask, who conducts the election for the national? The National Convention. Is it not the NWC those are the national that conduct? So why would they conduct election for themselves? But the Constitution has said so, that the elections are to be conducted at the various organs. If Chief Emmanuel Ogidi can just direct us to one provision of the Constitution that empowers the NWC or the national to conduct elections into the working committee of the South-South Zone, I will give up my argument, and I will even give up my office.
Great. Okay, Mr.
I can tell you,
Ogidi,
if you have the concern of the party,
Mr. Turner, let him respond. You've asked him a question. Mr. Emmanuel Ogidi, you want to respond to that? He's asking again. Where do you
he has come on there, and the matter is already in court. So why do you want to discuss it? You see, this is now convention. He asks who conducts the national election. What happens is this: all timetables are sent to NEC. The NWC is under the NEC. Once the approval is given, the NWC implements. So the NWC doesn't conduct its own election, no.
But the NEC hasn't met in over a year.
No, yes, the NEC has not met. No, I don't answer that of, what asking
the point.
That point is.
Yes.
So I don't want you to understand that.
Yeah.
You see, the Constitution has empowered the NWC to conduct all elections. If you ask him, okay, who conducted the ward election? Because before you get to the zone, you start from the wards. Who conducted the wards? Who conducted the LG? Who conducted the state?
Mr. Ogidi, are there other factors playing out, underground issues? Because we heard from the former governor of Kaduna State, El Rufai, saying, look, the external forces that are destabilizing, opposition parties, including the PDP. What's happening within the PDP has external hands in it. Where do you stand on that?
You see, like I said, we are our own problem. And the moment we solve our problem, yes.
Okay.
Some of our members are running wild.
Right.
So that's the problem. I don't want to start looking for.
When you say some of your members are running wild, exactly what do you mean?
They're not obeying the rules of the party. You see, I've been in this party since inception. I was a state chairman. During my tenure as state chairman in the early 2000s, we were not going to court. This court thing today is strange to us. It's alien to us. It's very alien. It's lack of discipline. See, at least I'm an example of this. Democracy, if you allow democracy to run, if you don't guide it, it will run wild. That's why every party have their regulating body, the Constitution.
Yeah.
But some persons, either because they're affluent, either because they have connections, they want it to happen their way. And it will cost anything. To me, PDP is PDP is my family. And when you are dealing with the family, it's always a complex matter. I don't want to lose anybody in the PDP. That's why I accepted to do this job.
Okay, Mr. Turner, let me bring it back to you. And in a similar vein, I mean, we heard from the Minister of the FCT yesterday, having strong words for the NWC. We also know that he was part of the Congress in Calabar, which you benefited from. How much of this disarray, for lack of a better word, within the party concerning the South-South Zonal Congress is about strong men rather than ideology of what your political party should be? Because some would say a Damagum as an acting national chairman, a strong ally or known ally of Mr. Wike, now dissociating the NWC and himself from your zonal congress does raise some questions about what has happened. So is this really about Minister Wike backing you and fighting for the soul of the PDP in the South-South zone?
Well, let me say that there is nothing in all of this that is about Minister Wike. It's about due process and constitutionalism. It's about people functioning in a manner that the constitution allows them to function. You see, our greatest challenge is impunity. I'm glad that Chief Emmanuel Ogidi talked about issues of court. He came in by whatever they say, a court restraining. They went to court to seek restraining order. Instead of restraining order, we see a court making order directing PDP how to appoint caretaker committee. It's laughable. Impunity. Look, if PDP is going to be taken seriously as a party to provide alternative for Nigerians, then we must be seen to be doing things properly. The level of impunity that goes on, either by the NWC or acting chairman or whatever strong officers that are there. It's really unfortunate. And I say this with all sincerity as a young person who have worked for this party, who have been in this party even in rough times. I've stayed with this party. It pains me, it gives me a lot of concern to see that leaders that we should really look up to are operating in a manner that is terrifying. How can a constitution is clear? Article 27 is very clear as to how zonal executive committee meeting can be convened and who are the members. The functions of the zonal executive committee to convene Congress. Article 28 is very clear as to the duty of Congress to elect officers into the zonal working committee, who is to convene the Congress. Very clear. These are elementary provisions that it doesn't require any kind of. To see people who are leaders of this party, that this party have done so much for, turning everything upside down and manipulating issues as if, what is that? It's not about Wike. Why are they making the issue about Wike? There's no Wike anywhere. It is the constitution and the right to do things properly. The NWC wrote to the zonal chairman and asked him in that letter that the NEC have approved guidelines and timetables for the conduct of elections for 2025 and gave him a directive in that letter. You are hereby directed to take steps in conducting this election. So yes. Why is the same NWC now turning as if the party is tomorrow? Every day they issue the publicity secretary issue statements without NWC meetings. These issues are not before
your point's been made. Your point has been made. Let me bring in Mr. Ogidi here. Let me bring in Mr. Ogidi. Mr. Ogidi, I mean, you are the head of the Caretaker. You're the chairman of the Caretaker committee. He raised an issue there where he says, look, there's a court order against the Caretaker committee. Are you aware of that, court order? First of all, respond to that. And this rescheduling of zonal congresses to April 12, is it not a recipe for further crisis with, what is going on now?
Yeah, you see, the NWC, they have members from all the zones. And the zonal chairman is a member of NWC. And if you belong to a group that's conducting the election, why should we have that kind of problem?
No, but are you aware of...
I just want to give you
to clarify that.
Yes, you see, what happened was this. The tenure is supposed to finish on the 9th. Right.
Of March.
March. Now, the party chairman, they were waiting on the... because we were aware that the date was moved. And if it was moved, they are not giving a date for the Congress. So one of the chairmen now went to court to say, look, of course you can't, there's no vacuum in administration. Honestly speaking, the NWC would have ordinarily appointed the Caretaker. They are empowered to do that. He knows. When I was there, when my tenure finished, they extended my tenure by 3 months. That is the power of the NWC, which was given to it by NEC. Right. Good. Now, because of what's going on in the party, we cannot longer hide it. There's a problem. That is why they went to court. Now, the court gave the order that this Caretaker committee should be established. And that's why it was done.
So is there a way forward for all of this?
The way forward is I'll be giving the assignment to ensure that we bring everybody back to on board. And we must be fair in our responsibility. And of course, that's my style. I don't want to lose anybody in this.
All right, it's a good way. That's a good place to leave it. Emmanuel Ogidi is Caretaker Committee Chairman. of the PDP South Zone. And George Turner joining us from Port Harcourt, Zonal Secretary, PDP South. Thank you very much for joining us, and we wish your party all the best.